Alrighty then. Shall we get started? Hello. On up there. Right. Hello. How's everybody doing? How's things? How's life? How's universe? How has your week been? What's everybody been up to? Hello, Jim. If you're still kicking around, how you doing? How's things? There we go. Sorted. Let me just pick something out of a hole in my hand. Hold on. Ow, that stings. I made a small hole in my hand, and now there's dust and crap in it. So I'm just cleaning. Yeah, cleaning. That's it. Cleaning it. Hello, John. How you doing? How's things? Um, I'll stop before I make it worse. I'm in kinda. I'm going to a very good friend's stag do this weekend, which means that I've got to be driving for most of tomorrow, which means I'm taking tomorrow off, which means that I have planned my week around taking tomorrow off. But because I'm relatively efficient, what that means is I actually finished the thing that I was like intending on doing, the video I was intending on doing this week yesterday. So today was kind of a struggle against my brain to make things happen. um, but yeah. So yeah. Busy's not bad. I just aching, kind of depressed. Fair. How are you? I mean, how are you doing? Ow, stingy little bitch. How are you doing? Besides achy and depressed, like, tell me more. Hello, Ish. How you doing? How's things? Uh, Diego. Hello. Thank you very much. I'm always glad to be of help. Um, it's always really cool to see uh how far my idiocy reaches. Um, I haven't looked in a while, but I seem to remember that the most sort of I don't look at YouTube analytics that much. I would rather make stuff that I enjoy, and hopefully you guys enjoy it as well. Um, than like chase numbers. But the one stat that I'm like the most proud of that YouTube analytics tells me is there are only 3 countries, or at least when I last looked, there are only 3 countries in the world that have not seen at least one of my videos. And one of those is North Korea. I have views from every other country in the world besides North Korea and I believe it is 2 Central African nations. Uh, so that was a good number of years ago. Do you know what? Shall I look? Shall I check? I want to know now. I've thought about it. I've got to know. Uh, the audience tab. Uh, Geographies. Yes. Lifetime. They still do the map. Oh, you got to export it to see 500. Okay. I don't know. I don't know, Jim. Maybe not. Maybe not. Hello Simon, how you doing, man? How's things? Ish is good. Been trained in first aid at work. Teacher had a load of stories about various injuries. Status report. Um, Well, first of all, nice. It's always good to be first aid trained. Um, Second of all, for me, good question. The steroids that I've been on for the last few weeks. One of the primary side effect of prednisolone is that it causes severe mental health distress. And especially on the higher doses, I've definitely been feeling a bit on the wild side, um, which is impressive for me because I'm not exactly stable. Anyway, it is getting better as I'm lowering the dosage, and I've been purposefully lowering the dosage early, um, because the benefit for my autoimmune conditions uh, is even down at uh, you know, say 4 pills a day instead of eight, is basically the same effect for me, but I don't have the mental health distress that I have at eight. So I'm down to six, and I'll be going down to five tomorrow. So I'm getting better. Um, I have, however, added quite a commensurable amount of stress to my life, with um the thing that I'm yet to say publicly. I booked the appointment for the end of October, and then I'm one of the other stressful things is that I'm then booking the second appointment for a week or two after that. Um, so yeah. Oh, Stingy. I've heard the Great Leader loves your channel. Somehow I doubt that. Can I? It is. It's the appointment's for the end of October, and then the second appointment will be for the end for the start of November, I think. Getting blown away by the wind. Um, Gusts of over 100 kilometers an hour, trees down everywhere. Great fun. Damn, that's a lot. Um, I like a strong wind here is 30, so that's kilometers. That's a lot. I stay safe. You know, jeez. Uh, and will you be announcing in public what those are? Yes. In a bit, in a while, probably in like it takes a good 1 to 3 years to take effect. So somewhere between 1 and 3 years. Although I'm sure you'll work it out. In the meantime, um, well, hello, Chris. Hey, doing, man? How's things? I'm still waiting for Google to spit out a Google Sheets tab for me. But they haven't. I want to look at them. They used to have a map feature that would tell you what you call it everything you want to know. Uh, okay. Well, there are 157 countries on the list, and only one of them, labeled AX, has 0 views. Every other country on the list has at least 10. The Åland Islands, autonomous region of Finland, has not viewed any of my videos. Hello, Harry. How you doing, man? How's things? Ottoman banned you. Thanks, John. Um, What is North Korea's official country code? I KP. Ah, hold on. Please hold. K. KP isn't in the list. Well, then it's still AG. Kyrgyzstan. 98 views from the channel from Kyrgyzstan. Nice. Anyway, I'll stop being an artist now. Actually, no, I want this impossible. But I'll stop being this kind of artist. Go back to that. I can't believe. Yeah, I thought it'd be NK. South is KR, but yeah, apparently it's KG, KP. I just said it. Anyway, can't believe North Korea don't have YouTube. I know, shocking. I know. Started moving house this week. Got one of the 3 cars up there so far. Another one will go Saturday, and then the MG needs fixing / tuning first before it makes the trip. Nice. What? Why are you moving house again? Like, are you moving out, or are you moving? Like, are your parents moving again? I thought that didn't you like just move? I haven't moved in like 12 years. Not quite that much. Uh, yeah, there's People's Republic and Democratic People's Republic, or Republic of and Democratic People's Republic of. Hello, Essentialist. How you doing? Um, thanks for your insightful comment. I'm moving out. New job starting on Monday. Lived in Devon for 20 months. Well, first of all, congratulations. Second of all, congratulations. And third, fair. The funny thing is, the Democratic one is North. Yes, yeah. Also, that shadow band. Oh no, I'm on top chat. It swapped me back from live. There we go. It's probably too cold and they have no internet. Probably that. Don't look that up. The US are gonna break down your door. um. I've been playing the Yakuza games. They're so good. Fair. I know that they do have a bit of a sort of cult following. Um, the only relevant thought I have is I played Sleeping Dogs and very much enjoyed it. Which is not necessarily a Yakuza game. Feels like a similar area, I suppose. But yeah, that's the closest to relevant experience I have. It's like Sleeping Dogs with 20% worse combat, but a way better story. I mean, that wasn't hard, so good. Good. Oh, I should have brought it down. So it's actually next Friday or next Monday, next Friday. Next Friday's video is um an 8 terabyte SSD, but it's specifically an 8 terabyte SSD that cost my friend £230. And it's not a scam. It is a used enterprise drive that CEX, which, and I cannot believe that this is real, but look up CEX's channel. They say it should be called sex, or like said, pronounced like a C and then an E and then an X, which we have all pronounced CEX as British teens. Um, that yeah, they want you to call it sex. Anyway, they are selling more than one of them. 7.68 terabyte Micron 5300 Pro, 2.5-inch SATA SSDs for £230. They still have some on the website as of, right now, which is insane. And yeah, it's an 8 terabyte SSD and it's a ridiculously good value. Well, so the thing is that they list it as like you can sell them the drive for £105 or £150 cash. So they must have bought it for between £100 and £150 to be selling it for £230. Why they didn't do any amount of looking it up? Because like to buy the exact same drive on eBay is £600. Yeah. So I don't know, but my 4 terabyte Cuvo is 210. I mean that's still a pretty decent deal, but yeah, some dude probably came and was like, I got 100 of these things, I just want them gone. You're probably not wrong. So I have a full video on this, so watch it. But the some teaser information is that the drive usage or the powered on hours was 23,500 hours. That is just shy of 1,000 days of non-stop usage, or just shy of 3 years, like 2.68 years. The powered on count, as in how many times that drive had been turned on and off, was 10. 10 times in nearly 3 years. And bear in mind, 2 of those times were me and my friend who bought it, who plugged it in to like see, what was on it, what his stats were, etc. So this drive, which had been wiped, so again, the person who sold it likely turned it on once to wipe them all, has probably turned on and off 6 times in 3 years. Let's play a little game. Take a guess how many terabytes written, like total drive writes, like lifetime drive writes. Take a guess how many terabytes, bearing in mind that this is basically an 8 terabyte drive, how much data has been written to that drive over those 3 years, over those 23,000 hours. Take a guess how much data in terabytes, bearing in mind 8 terabyte drive, clearly used in a server, clearly. 2 petabytes, 23 terabytes, 2 terabytes, 500 terabytes, 50 terabytes, 0.5 terabytes, that's optimistic, 120, 14 terabytes written. Only 2 drive writes over nearly 3 years. I suspect it's write once, read many. Okay, let's play another game. I know how many total drive reads it had too. Again, pick a number in terabytes. I'll give you this. It's more than 10, but pick a number of number of drive reads. 140 terabytes, 28, 28. Wow, you guys think alike. 12, 60. Okay. Ish was almost spot on the money. 122 terabytes of drive reads. So it's about 10x more reads than writes, but that is still insane, especially because here's the thing, those are enterprise drives. The endurance rating, as in how much data Micron says you can write to that drive before they expect it to fail, is 9.2 petabytes. 14 terabytes written is a rounding error on this drive's like lifespan. Even better, the mean time before failure, which is the average amount of time they expect that drive to be able to be powered on and running before it fails, is 3 million device hours. That is 342 years of on time. 23,000 hours is again a rounding error. So, Tammy, I don't know if you'll be able to buy one from CEX's website, right? But if you can, £230 for a 7.68 terabyte drive that should realistically, no matter how much usage it has actually had, which clearly is basically nothing, should outlive all of us. It's a very stellar deal. You would think so, John, but who knows? Oh, it wouldn't surprise me if it was an employee storage drive, but most people chose to put it on their internal drives. Yeah. So my best guess is that this was put in a server, probably as part of an array. So there was likely 8, 10, 12, 20, 24 of these drives in one server. It was bought, so that drive, the Micron 5300 Pro, launched in 2019, mid 2019 or something. So by its usage, by when it was found in CEX, whatever, my best guess is that it was bought in late 2019, early 2020 as probably part of an array, or to be put in an array. It was put in an array. It really wasn't written to all that much, or really read from in the grand scheme of things. And then 3 years into its cycle, the server was either decommissioned as a reason for an upgrade to probably NVMe drives for faster access and lower latency, or it was just like they got rid of all of their on-prem servers and moved to cloud. Probably, Chris. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, you can put 5 in your basket at any one time. Just, let you know. There are actually a couple of other 7.68 terabyte drives, including a Micron 5200 Eco, although that is £370 for that. Although there is also a Samsung PM883 that's £250 for the same size. So clearly CX does not know how to price massive used enterprise SSDs. And hey, if you want to take advantage of that, one drive for my lifetime of NAS use, I'm already reaching 22 terabytes in terms of miscellaneous backups. Fair. I mean, that is one of my my recommendations in the video. Is like, one, like an 8 terabyte drive for that cheap is just like the perfect one size fits all system drive, right? Like, store every game you own and still have some room left, at least for now. In turn, and then like GTA 5 will probably be a terabyte, and or 6 rather, etc. And the latest CODs are all 350 gig each. Not that anyone should play those anyway, but the point is that is it would be a perfect system drive. But if you don't want it as your system drive, buy 2 of them, and then you get low power, ultra reliable, like NAS storage, like network storage. Why not? So yeah, it's a wild drive. It's like an odometer for an old car. It's probably gone back to 14 on the second iteration. There were no other errors or there are tools that can change that sort of metadata that's stored in the drive, sure, but the fact that it still performs exactly how Micron said it would. I wrote I think over 2 terabytes to it in my testing, like in one go, like filled it up kind of thing. And while it took a while because it's a SATA drive and that was slow, it did still write just fine, etc. I did also take it apart, so I have quite thoroughly inspected the drive, and it all looks pretty legit. Chris, it will be coming out next Friday, so may the odds ever be in your favor. Um, yeah. uh, if I didn't just spend £385 on my Mazda, I'd get one. Get get rid of my spinning rust. Um, Simon wants one too. Well, so as I said, there is that Samsung one for 250, which is basically the same drive, is the same stuff. So you do have some options. I have Kioxia CM7 drives in my NAS. Nice. Are they the SATA or SAS? Are they the NVMe ones? I don't remember. And CX is selling a WD Red 6 terabyte for 68 quid. Used hard drives. Here's a story. When I was younger and much dumber, and probably pertinent to the fact, when I built my PC in 2012, January 2012, so 2011, 2012, SSDs did exist, but they were like 60 gig at most for anything even remotely reasonably priced, or 120 gig if you really push the boat out. There were a couple of 240 gig drives, but Jesus Christ, you needed a mortgage for those. And so me, in my penny pinching infinite wisdom, decided, well, I only need about 1 terabyte of storage, and there's this really cool thing called software RAID. Can you see where this is going? So what I did, really smart. What I did was I went on eBay. I bought 2 different 500 gig used hard drives. One of them was a Seagate Pipeline drive, and one of them was a WD Blue. One of them, I think the Pipeline might have been 7200 RPM, and the Blue might have been 5400 RPM. I can't remember. It might have been the other way around. Either way, you can see where this is going. I installed Windows onto a software RAID on an AMD FX 8120, mind you. And a Asus 990 990 FX whatever it was called, 990X motherboard that didn't boot the first time because it didn't have a BIOS upgrade to support the new chips, and then magically it just worked. Yeah. So anyway, what I did was I installed Windows on these 2 different drives that were in RAID 0. Yes, you heard me right. 0 on 2 used hard drives. And then, yeah, it worked. It worked great. In fact, it was really fast. It was almost as fast as an SSD for a bit. I think it lasted about a month before it broke. So, yeah. Do you know what's the really dumb bit though? Like the really dumb bit. Like putting your OS on software RAID 0 on 2 used different hard drives is already bad. But 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 you know what's worse? Is that I rebuilt the array and I did it again. I did it again. I was like, oh well, all the data's gone. New RAID 0 array. New copy of Windows. Oh god, I was such an idiot. And yeah, it lasted another month or two, and then it broke again. I was like, you know, maybe this isn't a good idea, and I installed Windows on one of the drives, and used the other one as a game drive. Oh dear. Um. So yeah, yeah, and then I got an SSD and I moved everything over. Um. Yeah. I'm both proud and not proud of that. Those Seagate pipe bomb drives are infamous. Do you know what's funny? Do you know what? Actually, do you know? This is too great. Both of those drives still work. Both the WD Blue and the Seagate pipe bomb both still work. I have not. I don't use them anymore, but I did have the Blue running in my rendering PC upstairs for quite a while. As just the OS drive, like it's just I didn't have another SSD to put in, so I just well here's a 500 gig drive. I don't need space on it, so just there you go. It legit that still worked, and when I took the pipeline bomb out of my system, it was probably 4 or 5 years ago now, but it still worked. um Farron, I'm sorry I missed your question about. I was pretty sure it's about monitors. I was just about to get to it. Feel free to ask it again if you want. You want my clearly expert advice. um, should have got 3 in raid 5. Well, yeah, but that would have been another 50 quid that I couldn't spend on, yeah, something useful. Uh, 14 terabyte times 6 drives, so not the cheapest around. SAS ones. Fair. Yeah. Nice. I mean, hey, if you've got the cash for it, why not, right? And a use case, probably. A use case. I would love, like, it would be an awful lot of money. Uh, I would love to do an all SSD NAS with a usable, like a useful amount of space. So probably 4 of those 8 terabyte drives would be fine. Because actually 4 of those 8 terabyte drives would replace the 4 8 terabyte spinning Rust I have currently. So yeah, that'd be great. But for my work NAS, I mean, ironically, the work NAS would actually benefit more from having, SSDs instead. But then you're talking about, like, I have 6 10 terabyte drives in there right now, and I want to expand it. So even if you went with those 8 terabyte drives, like, that's at least one extra 8 terabyte drive, so at least 7 of them, and then like to be able to expand it. So you're talking about 10. So you're talking about 2.5 grand in used enterprise SSDs, and I don't have that kind of money for something that I really don't need. I own this house now. I need to do all the repairs on it and shit first. Uh, Although I made my first mortgage payment today, actually, which I'm pleased about because it's now money going at least closer to me. Although most of it still did go to interest. Uh, this might be a bit of a weird question, but can hard drives repair themselves? Um, It depends what the sort of damage is, basically. I paid £100 off the actual principal of the mortgage today. There you go. It depends what sort of damage you're talking about, because if you're talking about like fragmentation, yes, definitely, because that's just moving the data around. But if you're talking about like there is, the sector heads is not moving. Well, probably not. No. The motor has stopped spinning. No. Mine had 38 unrecoverable sectors. I've now had it running 24/7 in my NAS, and suddenly the sectors just work again. I would be suspicious. uh, like technically speaking, it could just be that this is a hypothetical. I'm not giving you a specific thing, but let's pretend that maybe the arm had some dust or something, or something that basically meant that it couldn't go all the way to the center or all the way to the edge, like one of the limits, right? Let's pretend. But having it in 24/7 operation means that the drive's a bit hotter, the bearings are a bit looser, and now it can reach those sectors. Now they're no longer unrecoverable because it can actually reach and write to them. If it is, that would be a theoretical reason why it might go from not working when it's only plugged in occasionally to working when it's running 24/7. I'm sure that there are other potential causes, both more and less sort of risky and nefarious, but yeah. You can map bad sectors to a P list, so kind of work around some failures. That is also an option if the sectors come back. The bad sectors come back, they start working. I have that much PDF files that I'm knocking, about 4 terabyte of them. Why? Are you archiving stuff? I mean, fair enough, but sell the S4, get a smart car, and 3 grand used SSDs. No, I value the car way more than that. I'm doing a long drive tomorrow, and it's comfy and fast, and I like it. I have a 512 gig NVMe drive with TrueNAS, but since I am using mismatched SMR 4x8 terabyte drives, just regular old ext4 and exFAT. Fair. So the NVMe drive is the cache drive? I do have an NVMe cache drive in my Unraid NAS. And while technically Unraid can happily handle different drive sizes and stuff, mine are all matched WD Gold drives because they were the cheapest at the time. I'm suspicious too, but they work, TM. Nice. Problems that go away by themselves have a tendency to return by themselves. Sadly true. I hate that all my work went cloud-based as servers go down weekly. Really? Who's hosting those servers? Because as someone who runs a few internet companies, we use DigitalOcean for locally, and it's very rare that DigitalOcean goes down. And realistically, AWS, Azure, Google Cloud don't tend to go down much either. They do occasionally, but tends to be pretty clear that it's a wider issue than just your stuff. So, my second Matrox C680 has been dispatched. I need help. You need a support group. TrueNAS gives me a message on our boot saying critical device SDA 64 offline unrecoverable sectors, but after a while the errors just stop appearing. Interesting. Wonder if that's a firmware issue or something then. The NVMe is just TrueNAS OS. 32 gig flash drive dies. I know that TrueNAS doesn't like reading running from USB, but Unraid will only run from USB. Hello Luca, how you doing? How's things? Second week in a new job. Congrats. How's it going? How big is locally now? Not heard anything on that for ages. We don't have. We're not purposely growing it. Like, if a whole bunch of people turned up and started using the site, and therefore we're sort of generating enough clicks to generate revenue to generate sort of efforts to keep like adding stuff to it, that'd be amazing. But realistically, it's a service that I made for myself. Much like the response time and latency tools, really. It's just that we, kind of went a few steps further to make it not just a hacky solution for me, but a decent solution for anyone who wants to try it. And so, yeah, it's paying for itself, which is the main thing. Yeah. Downloading all the manuals, part breakdowns, extract, etc. Briggs and Stratton, we patch into the US and Asia. Something goes wrong somewhere regularly. Interesting. Yeah, I can't say that's my experience, but fair enough. But Luca's glad that everything's in the cloud. Funny contrast. Apologies for the noise, but it's getting way too hot in here, so I'm gonna have to turn the fan on. Ridwan, hello. How you doing? How's things? Hope I'm well. No, but let's pretend. It's a CMR drive as well. It should be more reliable. It should be more reliable than SMR, yeah. The name of my dad's lawnmower. Oh dear. Might be firmware. When I checked with Seagate tools and Windows, it said the drive was totally fine. I mean, I would still. It's 50-50 whether it's like Windows just not reading and reporting from the drive, or whether Linux is having the firmware is having a problem with Linux. Australian Instant, need I say more? Say less. Oh, here's another fun thing. I might have mentioned this the other day, but the bed cooler PCBs that I've been making, this is now V2. Now, annoyingly, so this is 24-pin, 8-pin, 8-pin, and this is basically an 8-pin PCIe power connector that I need to crimp the wires into to be able to click it in. The problem for me, again, is that so this chip here is not the chip I thought it was. So basically, the microcontroller goes in here, and this controls these MOSFETs, these IGBTs, which then controls the fans for the tech and the tech itself, the thermoelectric, or the Peltier module, to heat and cool. The problem is, this was meant to be a level shifter to take the 3.3 volts from here and turn it into 12 volts for these transistor gates, because these need to be operated at 12 volts to be able to open enough to be able to not have too high resistance when you're putting 200 or something watts through here. Problem with this is that this is not what I thought it was, and it doesn't do what I thought it does. I really, really, really don't want to have to redesign the PCB itself and then have JLC make it again. So, what I need to do is take this chip out and then make a little breakout board to fix it. If I end up making these available, which honestly I don't think anyone's gonna actually want one properly, then I will redesign it to make it actually work. But yeah, luckily, JLC is now sponsoring, I guess, the channel. Part of a sponsorship deal, but they're giving me both some money for some videos and discounts on the stuff. So I didn't pay for those boards basically. So yeah, but I don't really want to redesign it and sort of end up wasting a load of parts. Like I've soldered a load of stuff to this, and it'd be a pain in the ass to try and desolder it. And I don't really want to have to buy more stuff. So I don't know. I'll think about it. But that's next week's project because I'm going to a stag do tomorrow. Thank you very much, Chris. Prototypes are fun. They are when they work, or when you're smart enough to design them to be able to work around problems you might have. Yeah. Become a member today. Support Andy's mortgage. That'd be great. You need more month badges. I'm on 37, not 24. I'm sure I'll get right on that. I'll at least do a 48 one. Come on. While I'm talking about prototypes and PCBs, the new latency tool is pretty much ready. It's actually live on the website already. The new 3-pin. You can't really see much else that's new here besides the 3-pin, really. This is the new peripheral testing kit. So you put some aluminium foil on a mouse and you clip that there, and then you use this to tap the mouse button, and hey presto, you have better mouse testing. Just making an infinity badge. It's not a bad idea. I kind of like that, yeah. I also want to. I've been doing a load of like DIY projects to fix all the stuff that's broken in the house. One of the things is that the gutters on where the two bits of roof meet, the gutter along that edge was a bit on the iffy side, and so I borrowed my neighbor's ladder and went up to try and sort of adjust it, basically clear it out and adjust it, and turns out that where the two roofs meet, there's basically a big hole there that rain has been getting up into, and then into our bedroom wall, basically. So I've sealed it up with some expanding foam and roof underlay. So yeah, that was the first one, and then I fixed the gutter alignment, so that should be better as well. But yeah, it has ripped a hole in my hand. The expanding foam. Hello. No, I have Amy spotting me. Or I always have someone spotting me when I'm on a ladder. Redman, can you please tell me what might be the problem? How do I diagnose if I have a faulty RAM or RAM slot? I have two sticks of Corsair LPX 32 gig, 3200 megahertz. Motherboard is an MSI B550 Mortar Wi-Fi. Yeah, so the B550M Mortar should have four slots, right? It's not. I mean, it's an M, so it'll be the M80X. But let me double check. Let me double check. Yes, it has four slots. So the first thing that I would do is move both of your sticks. So you should have them in if you're looking at the board straight on, counting left to right, so slot the leftmost slot is slot 1, the rightmost slot nearest to the PCIe, nearest to the 24 pin is slot 4. You should have your sticks in slots 2 and 4. What I would do is try them in 1 and 3, which are technically the wrong slots. That's the wrong channel to have it as your first. But try it. See if that works. See if you still get the black screens with XMP enabled. If it does, then you know that it's the motherboard or the CPU. If you still get the black screens, then unfortunately that doesn't really rule anything out, because especially on AMD, the instability comes from it can come from a number of different places, because AMD is often quite sensitive to memory on the memory controller side of things. Don't follow Chris's advice. That'd be a bad idea. What you call it? So you've tried it in 1 and 3 and XMP still doesn't work. Okay, cool. So then what you want to do is try one stick at a time. Try one stick in ideally all of the slots. See if XMP still works. If it does, try the other way. And see if that stick still works. If both one stick XMP works, okay, cool. So again, if you've tried both sticks but individually, then realistically it's more likely that it is the CPU that is the problem, because your motherboard itself... Actually, hold on. What? 1 second. One little tiny... Give me a very high resolution image, please. Very high. Yeah, okay. Right. What is AMD? This is a long shot. But I have some experience with... well, I've installed a lot of motherboards, CPUs, and CPU coolers, and RAM in my over 12 years of being a tech reviewer. And one of the things that has caught me out more than I would like to admit is on your motherboard, your mounting brackets for your CPU cooler mount to the PCB surface often. And what happens is motherboard manufacturers route the traces for the RAM DIMMs on the top layer of the PCB. And what can happen with some coolers is that when you tighten the cooler standoffs down... can you tell me what cooler you have, and does it use the stock AMD clip mounts, or does it use 4 standoffs? But what happens is those standoffs rub away the protective coating that's on the top of the board, the nice black that you often get, and then you basically have either broken traces or corrupt traces. So that's... Depending on what cooler you have, that is something that you potentially might want to consider. Corsair H100X uses the stock AMD clips, so you're probably fine. The other thing with AMD CPUs, especially the AM4 ones, and older, is the PGA pin grid array chip style, mounting style for the chip itself. Can also have some inconsistent mounting. So what you might want to do is take your CPU out, like take your cooler off, take the CPU out. Ideally blow some compressed air in the socket, and then remount the CPU. That also can help sometimes. I've had experience of that on my own system actually with memory issues too. Um, but if I'm being honest, the if you've tried the RAM itself, my best guess would be it is the CPU. They do degrade over time, uh, and uh, actually, as Essentialist says, Ryzen 5000 series and older, a 3600, 2600, and a 1600X, they all had varying levels of kind of terrible memory controllers. Like, they work fine, and they definitely got better, but if you have a 3600, 3600X, 3700, even on the 50, 657, they're still not quite as stable as they perhaps once were, um, or compared to Intel's, and therefore a little bit of degradation plus uh, an already potentially iffy memory controller might just be your bag for this one. Um, so yeah. I'd much rather have a stable computer. Well, in the grand scheme of things, like in my experience with both AMD and Intel chips, I've basically had the same number of issues with both. At least based on my like, if you base it on usage hours. I've generally had more experience with Ryzen more recently, uh, like in my own system, and therefore I have more issues with Ryzen. But that's because I was using Ryzen as my main system the whole time, and also I had some interesting combinations of technology that kind of killed each other. Uh, so so yeah. Um, but yeah, per sort of usage hour, it's basically the same. Um, yeah. Does AM5 have this issue too of thinking about upgrading? AMD has gotten each generation is generally better with the memory controller in particular. Has always basically gotten better every year. And moving to DDR5, it's been much more stable as well. So I would say no. Interesting combo of technology as in two 500 gig hard drives in RAID 0. Yeah, I started off on a bad foot and I never changed. I had some issues with Ryzen laptops only working with the RAM they came with. Interesting. I don't think I've actually upgraded a laptop's RAM in a long time, so yeah. Is the wiggle in the socket advisable? I don't think. I mean, as long as it's fully seated, technically speaking, it's fine because you're mostly moving the bracket rather than anything else. But generally speaking, the advice is you just place it down in and then, lock the tab. Um, but yeah. I have two 16 GB 3200 megahertz LPX RGB sticks with my 3900X, and X417 works fine. Yeah, it's not necessarily that that configuration won't work fine. It's just that it it is potentially more susceptible to issues or and potentially issues over time. Um, yeah, I'm pretty sure that for Ryzen like 3000 and 5000, 3600 megahertz was the sort of go-to recommended speed anyway. So 3200 is already on the safer end of things. So yeah. I've been thinking of transplanting my i5 9400 into a cheap ITX board for an SFF gaming PC. Yeah, I mean the 9400 isn't exactly lightning fast, but I mean it should be fine, especially if you're pairing it with a pretty mid-range like 1060, 2060, 1660 Ti, something like that. Be fine. 1080p. Oh no, I know. I'm more ridiculing your choices. uh, Happens over time. Same thing happened with my friend too. He faced the same RAM XMP issue before me. Yeah, silicon degrades over time. I can't say that I'm that surprised really. So yeah. Sun still uses 9400F and an old 1660 Ti. Hey, if it works, it's all that matters. No, there's absolutely nothing wrong in not having the latest and greatest or anything. It's whatever works. Whatever you can afford, whatever does enough for you, so. Interesting. I built a system, the Ryzen 3600X, 5600 XT for a friend. It barely posts at 3200 megahertz, just set it to 3000 and adjusted timing. They got bored and left it. Then got bored and left it at JTech. I mean, fair, I guess. What's JDAC 2133? I mean, you would get more performance out of it for sure, but hey, whatever, stable. Oh, rude one. I mean, realistically, there isn't uh, a night and day performance difference between 3000 and 3200, and arguably there is a chance that you could improve the timings by downclocking, which might actually give you a comparable amount of performance advantage. So maybe take it as an opportunity to have a play. Huh? Bright side and all that. What was it? Ryzen. There's a an open source tuning tool for memory, like Ryzen Memory Speed Tuner or something. Ow. Oh. Too much math and the friend didn't appreciate the effort. Yeah, fair. Something about 3200 and Infinity Clock and Ryzen. Vaguely rings a bell. DRAM calculator, that's it, thank you. Ow. I hate my guts. It's an overclock, so it's never guaranteed. True. Although I think, especially for Ryzen 5000, the 3600 was the memory speed. Anything above that was considered an overclock, so technically no. But yeah, max stable Infinity Clock was 1900, which should be half the RAM speed. Yeah. Uh, Hello, Lionheart. How you doing, man? I'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully, I won't be in as much pain. Ah. Got the laptop charged and ready. Got all 11 Jackbox games. I didn't know there were that many, but I've got them all. All the drugs, yes, yes. See, drugs, the fun ones too. Steroids, yeah, yeah. uh, anyway, I think I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna go. Not that kind of steroids. Uh, that's true. um, I'll leave it there. I'll catch you all next well, tomorrow for a video, Monday for a video, next week for a stream, and Todd, see you tomorrow. Right. I'll catch you guys yeah.